In this video, we're going to talk about sequences. There are generally two types of sequences that today we're going to talk about. One is arithmetic sequence and the other one is geometric sequence. The function that we are using for arithmetic sequence is a sub n, a plus d n. Okay, so this one we have to always remember for the arithmetic sequence, and also remember that whenever you're doing adding, that's going to be arithmetic sequence. If it is not adding, then it's not going to be arithmetic sequence. So basically it has to be the function that I told you. And if we have a equal to 5, and if we have d equal to 3, and we want to write a sequence with 5 terms, this is how it's going to look like. We have to use this function for the arithmetic sequence. So a sub n, which is going to be each one of these terms that we are going to write here, is going to be a sub 1, a sub 2, a sub 3, 4, and 5. Let's not close it right now. It might be bigger. So for a sub 1 equal to, our a is 5, so I'm going to write 5 here, plus my d is 3, and 3 is going to multiply by 0 because my first term is going to be, my first term is going to be my term 0, not 1. So a sub 0 is equal to 5 plus 3 sub 0 is 3 multiplied by 0. So my first term is going to be 5. So our first term always going to be our a, because anything multiplied by 0 is going to be 0, so we are not adding anything to it. And then we're going for my second term is going to be a sub 1, and it's going to be 5 plus 3 multiplied by 1, which is going to give me 8. So I'm going to write 8 here. So for the rest of it, I'm going to do one more, and after that we know how to calculate it. We're just going to write it down by adding 3 to each one of them. So next one is going to be a sub 2 equal to 5 plus 3 multiplied by 2. 3 multiplied by 2 is going to give us 6. 6 plus 5 is going to give me 11. Now, as you can see, each one of these are adding 3 to it, and then it's going to the next one. Let me show you with this. So we're adding 3 and it's become 8. We're adding 3, it will become 11. We're going to add 3 and it will become 14. And our next element is going to be 17. So these are the 5 elements that the question asked us about. So you can either add one by one, or you can use the formula. It's better to learn how to use the formula, because for the later courses you're going to need these formulas. Okay, now let's look at another question. My next question is to find a and d in the given sequence. So my sequence is 5, 7, 9, and ... which is going forever. So as we saw in the previous question, in the previous example, our first element is going to be our a. So a is going to be 5, because everything multiplied by 0 is going to be 0. So we are only going to be left with our a, which is 5. And then if you want to find what is the value of my d, as you remember, when we were going this way, we were adding. So when we want to come this way, if you want to come back, we are subtracting. So you can either see what is this number is added to, or if you want, you can see what is this number subtracted from. So you can do both ways to figure out what is your d. And it has to be applicable to all of these. So that means this number, and this number have to be the same number, and this number and this number have to be the same number as well. Otherwise, the sequence that you have is not an arithmetic sequence. Okay, so here 5 plus 2 is 7, 7 plus 2 is 9, and then 9 minus 2 is 7, 7 minus 2 is 5. So my d is going to be 2. So this is all about arithmetic sequence. Now we're going to talk about geometric sequence. For geometric sequence, we're going to multiply. And the function for that is a sub n is equal to a r to the power of n. This is another formula, another function that we have to remember, because in other courses we're going to use this. So this is geometric sequence. Geometric sequence is multiplying. Now let's look at an example for this. If we have a equal to 6, and if we have d equal to 3, find 5 elements of your sequence. So we want to find 5 elements. I'm going to open my brackets here. The first element is going to be, what color should we use? Let's use blue. Okay, so I'm going to write my function here. I have a sub 0 because my first element is going to be element 0. So element 0, a sub 0 is equal to, my a is 6, so I'm going to put 6 here, and then my r I'm sorry, this one I should have said R, not D. D was for the other one. Okay, my R is 3, and 3 is going to be to the power of 0. And we know that any number to the power of 0 is going to be 1. So 6 multiplied by 1 is going to give me a 6. So again, for geometric sequence, our first element is going to be our a. Whatever our a is, it's going to be our first element, because any number to the power of 0 is going to give us a 1. And then I have a sub 1 equal to, again I have 6 here, and I have 3 for my r, and this time is going to be to the power of 1. So 3 to the power of 1 will give me 3, 6 multiplied by 3 will give me 18. Next one, it's going to be a sub 2, it's going to be 6, 3 to the power of 2. 3 to the power of 2 is 9. 9 multiplied by 6 is going to give me 54. And then we do one more, and that's it. no, actually we have to do another one after this. So it's going to be 3 to the power of 3, and 3 to the power of 3 is going to be 27. 27 multiplied by 6, let me calculate it quickly, is going to be 162. So I'm going to put 162 here. And then I can either multiply 162 by 3, or I can do a sub 4 equal to 6 multiplied by 3 to the power of 4, 486. And then I can close the brackets. So this is going to be my sequence. Now let's look at another example. We have A equal to, so we want to find A and we want to find R. And the sequence that they gave us is 2, 4, 8, and 16. We want to find out what is A and R in this case. Okay, so from the previous example, we know that the first element is going to be our A. So our A is going to be 2. And then now let's look at how we can figure out what number is R. We can, in the previous one, we have to add. Here we have to multiply. So if we multiply this number by a number, it will give us the next number. So if we multiply 2 by what number is going to give us 4, that's going to be a 2. And then again, if we look at 4, and we want to know what number it is going to multiply to give us 8, it's going to be 2. For all of these numbers, we have to multiply it by 2. So that's how it works. Now let's look at a couple of examples here. Let's look at number 4 and number 8 and see it works inside of our formula or not. So 4 is going to be our first element, so it's going to be A sub 1. Because this is 2 is going to be element number 0, then 4 is going to be element number 1. So A1, it's not, instead of A1, we have to put our A1, it's going to be 4. And our A is 2. What number to the power of 1 is going to make this formula correct? And as you can see, our R have to be 2 for this formula to be correct. So 4 is equal to 2 multiplied by 2 to the power of 1, and it's going to give us 4. Now for the next one, let's see if 8 works in this formula as well or not. Or let's go with 16. Let's try 16. 16 is going to equal to 2, and then what R should be 0, 1, 2, 3 to the power of 3 to give us 16. So we know that 8 multiplied by 2 is going to give us 16. So R should be equal to 2 to the power of, when it's become to the power of 3, then it's going to give us 16.